Mrs. Garner hummed when she worked. Mr. Garner acted like the world was a toy he was supposed to have fun with. Neither wanted her in the field. Mrs. Garner's boys, including Hallie, did all of that, which was a blessing since she could not have managed it anyway. What she did was stand beside the humming Lillian Garner while the two of them cooked, preserved, washed, ironed, made candles, clothes, soap, and cider, fed chickens, pigs, dogs, and geese, milked cows, churned butter, rendered fat, laid fires. Nothing to it. And nobody knocked her down. Her hip hurt every single day, but she never spoke of it. Only Hallie, who had watched her movements closely for the last 4 years, knew that to get in and out of bed she had to lift her thigh with both hands, which was why he spoke to Mr. Garner about buying her out so that she could sit down for a change. Sweet boy. The one person who did something hard for her, gave her his work, his life, and now his children, whose voices she could just make out as she stood in the garden wondering what was the dark and coming thing behind the scent of disapproval. Sweet Home was a marked improvement, no question, and no matter, for the sadness was at her center, the desolated center where the self that was no self made its home. Sad as it was, she did not know where her children were buried or what they looked like if alive. Fact was, she knew more about them than she knew about herself, having never had the map to discover what she was like. Could she sing? Was it nice to hear when she did? Was she pretty? Was she a good friend? Could she have been a loving mother? A faithful wife? Have I got a sister? And does she favor me? If my mother knew me, would she like me? In Lillian Gardner's house, exempted from the field work that broke her hip and the exhaustion that drugged her mind. In Lillian Gardner's house, where nobody knocked her down or up, she listened to the white woman humming at her work, watched her face light up when Mr. Gardner came in and thought, it's better here, but I'm not. The Garners, it seemed to her, ran a special kind of slavery, treating them like paid labor, listening to what they said, teaching what they wanted known. And he didn't stud his boys, never brought them to her cabin with directions to lay down with her like they did in Carolina, or rented their sex out on other farms. It surprised and pleased her, but it worried her too. Would he pick women for them, or what did he think was going to happen when those boys ran smack into their nature? Some danger he was courting, and he surely knew it. In fact, his order for them to not leave Sweet Home except in his company was not so much because of the law, but the danger of men-bred slaves on the loose. Baby Suggs talked as little as she could get away with, because what was there to say that the roots of her tongue could manage? So the white woman, finding her new slave excellent if silent help, hummed to herself while she worked. When Mr. Garner agreed to the arrangements with Hallie, and when Hallie looked like it meant more to him that she go free than anything in the world, she let herself be taken across the river. Of the two hard things, standing on her feet till she dropped, or leaving her last and probably only living child, she chose the hard thing that made him happy, and never put it to him the question that she put to herself. What for? What does a 60-odd-year-old slave woman who walks like a 3-legged dog need freedom for? And when she stepped foot on free ground, she could not believe that Hallie knew what she didn't. That Hallie, who had never drawn one free breath, knew that there was nothing like it in this world. It scared her. Something's the matter. What's the matter? What's the matter? She asked herself. She didn't know what she looked like and was not curious, but suddenly she saw her hands and thought, with a clarity as simple as it was dazzling, these hands belong to me. These, my hands. Next, she felt a knocking in her chest and discovered something else new, her own heartbeat. Had it been there all along, this pounding thing? She felt like a fool and began to laugh out loud. Mr. Garner looked over his shoulder at her with wide brown eyes and smiled himself. What's funny, Jenny? She couldn't stop laughing. My heart's beating, she said. And it was true. Mr. Garner laughed. Nothing to be scared of, Jenny. Just keep your same ways. You'll be all right. She covered her mouth to keep from laughing too loud. These people I'm taking you to will give you what help you need. Name a Bodwin. A brother and a sister. Scots. I've been knowing them for 20 years or more. Baby Suggs thought it was a good time to ask him something she had long wanted to know. Mr. Garner, she said, why you all call me Jenny? 'Cause that's what's on your sales ticket, gal. Ain't that your name? What you call yourself? Nothing, she said. I don't call myself nothing. Mr. Garner went red with laughter. When I took you out of Carolina, Whitlow called you Jenny, and Jenny Whitlow is what his bill said. Didn't he call you Jenny? No, sir. If he did, I didn't hear it. What did you answer to? Anything. But Suggs is what my husband's name. You got married, Jenny? I didn't know it. Manner of speaking. You know where he is, this husband? No, sir. Is that Hallie's daddy? No, sir. Why you call him Suggs, then? His bill of sale says Whitlow, too, just like yours. Suggs is my name, sir. From my husband. He didn't call me Jenny. What'd he call you? Baby. Well, said Mr. Garner, going pink again, if I was you, I'd stick to Jenny Whitlow. Mrs. Baby Suggs ain't no name for a freed black person. Maybe not, she thought. But Baby Suggs was all she had left of the husband she claimed. A serious, melancholy man who taught her how to make shoes. The two of them made a pact. Whichever one got a chance to run would take it. Together, if possible, alone if not. And no looking back. He got his chance. And since she never heard otherwise, she believed he made it. Now, how could he find her or hear tell of her if she was calling herself some bill of sale name? She couldn't get over the city. More popular than Carolina and enough white folks to stop the breath. 2-story buildings everywhere, and walkways made of perfectly cut slats of wood. Roads wide as Garner's whole house. This is a city of water, said Mr. Garner. Everything travels by water, and what the rivers can't carry, the canals take. Queen of a city, Jenny. Everything you ever dreamed of, they make it right here. Iron stoves, buttons, ships, shirts, hairbrushes, paint, steam engines, books. A sewer system make your eyes bug out. Oh, this is a city, all right. If you have to live in a city, this is it. The Bodwins lived right in the center of a street, full of houses and trees. Mr. Garner leapt out, tied his horse to a solid iron post. Here we are. Baby picked up her bundle, and with great difficulty, caused by her hip and the hours of sitting in a wagon, climbed down. Mr. Garner was up the walk and on the porch before she touched ground, but she got a peep of a black girl's face at the open door before she followed a path to the back of the house. She waited what seemed a long time before this same girl opened the kitchen door and offered her a seat by the window. "Can I get you anything to eat, ma'am?" the girl asked. "No, darling. I'd look favorable on some water, though." The girl went to the sink and pumped a cup full of water. She placed it in Baby Suggs' hand. "I'm Janie, ma'am." Baby, marveling at the sink, drank every drop of water, although it tasted like a serious medicine. "Suggs," she said, blotting her lips with the back of her hand. "Baby Suggs." "Glad to meet you, Miss Suggs. You going to be staying here?" "I don't know where I'll be. Mr. Garner, that's him what brought me here, he say he arranged something for me. And then, I'm free, you know." Janie smiled. "Yes, ma'am." "Your people live around here?" "Yes, ma'am. All of us live out on Bluestone." "We scattered," said Baby Suggs. "But maybe not for long." Great God, she thought, where do I start? Get somebody to write old Whitlow? See who took Patty and Rosalie? Somebody named Dunn got Ardelia and went west, she heard. No point in trying for Tyree or John. They cut 30 years ago, and if she searched too hard and they were hiding, finding them would do them more harm than good. Nancy and Famous died in a ship off the Virginia coast before it set sail for Savannah. That much she knew. The overseer at Whitlow's place brought her the news, more from a wish to have his way with her than from the kindness of his heart. The captain waited 3 weeks in port to get a full cargo before setting off. Of the slaves in the hold who didn't make it, he said 2 were Whitlow pickaninnies, but she knew their names. She knew and covered her ears with her fists to keep from hearing them come from his mouth. Janie heated some milk and poured it in a bowl next to a plate of cornbread. After some coaxing, Baby Suggs came to the table and sat down. She crumbled the bread into the hot milk and discovered she was hungrier than she'd ever been in her life, and that was saying something. "They going to miss this?" "No," said Janie. "Eat all you want. It's ours." "Anybody else live here?" "Just me. Mr. Woodruff, he does outside chores. He comes by 2-3 days a week." "Just you two?" "Yes, ma'am. I do the cooking and the washing." "Maybe your people know of somebody looking for help." "I'll be sure to ask. But I know they take women at the slaughterhouse." "Doing what?" "I don't know." "Something men don't want to do, I reckon." "My cousins say you get all the meat you want, plus 25 cents an hour. She make summer sausage." Baby Suggs lifted her hand to the top of her head. "Money? Money? They would pay her money every single day? Money? Where is this here slaughterhouse?" she asked. Before Janie could answer, the Bodwins came into the kitchen with a grinning Mr. Garner behind. Undeniably brother and sister, both dressed in gray with faces too young for their snow-white hair. "Did you give her anything to eat, Janie?" asked the brother. "Yes, sir." "Keep your seat, Jenny," said the sister. And that good news got better. When they asked what work she could do, instead of reeling off the hundreds of tasks she had performed, she asked about the slaughterhouse. She was too old for that, they said. "She's the best cobbler you ever see," said Mr. Garner. "Cobbler?" Sister Bodwin raised her black, thick eyebrows. "Who taught you that?" "Was a slave taught me," said Baby Suggs. "New boots or just repair?" "New, old, anything." "Well," said Brother Bodwin, "that'll be something, but you'll need more." "What about taking in wash?" asked Sister Bodwin. "Yes, ma'am." 2 cents a pound." "Yes, ma'am. But where's the inn?" "What? You said take in wash. Where is the inn?" "Where I'm going to